Hey all, welcome to the Export Fundas podcast. This is sort of an emergency podcast. I requested Jagatji to do this for us because I was personally very pissed off with this. Jagatji knows just before the call I was ranting to him. But just to tell you what exactly happened. So before that, Jagatji, thank you so much for doing this so quickly.
Pleasure, always.
So, what exactly happened? Well, Claude, few days back, Anthropic, the company behind the AI LLM called Claude, released a model called Fable. Now, Fable was there. Now, for those of you who don't know LLMs, for a lot of you out there, I'm sure LLM would just mean ChatGPT. Like why Jagaji, most people just know ChatGPT is ChatGPT has 900 million users a week, active users. Claude and Anthropic just have 40 million active users a week. But the users of Claude and Anthropic typically are enterprises, developers, engineers, a lot of white collar information workers. And today, if you ask any one of them, and if you look at benchmarks, if you look at technology, if you look at defense department and governments, all of them, if you want a cutting edge AI model, which has significant real world implications, which can do analysis, they will all go to Claude. Specifically, last week, they would go to Claude Opus 4.8. Now, some context for all of you. Few weeks back, there was news which you would have seen that Anthropic had announced they have discovered a model which was easily able to find vulnerabilities in bank software and financial software and a lot of infrastructure critical software. And that LLM model was not released to the public because they felt that there would be real security threats. So what Anthropic had done is they had formed sort of a consortium called Project Glasswing and given access to various different organizations, to government bodies, and even some banks in India and some other cybersecurity firms in India. So across the globe, they were trying to roll out this model, which would be cutting edge, uh, which was finding security vulnerabilities and patching them, and they rolled this out to all these infrastructure critical sort of organizations and companies. And Anthropic had said that for few weeks we are working on building guardrails on this mythos model, and we will release a model for which can be used for normal public to consume and play with it and work on projects for it. So just a few days back they released Claude Fable, which I spent 2 days 3 days with it. And Jagatji, and for everyone out there, it almost felt like a very smart fresher engineer or a fresher graduate just got 20 years of rigorous experience.
Correct.
So the Opus 4.8 model already was smart, but it was rough around the edges, and that sort of uh, refinement only happens through in the real world for a human being only through experience, through iterations, through reps, to being in business for long, to working on many projects. In case of Fable, it felt like Opus 4.8 finally got all those refinements, and it was at that 20-year experience level where it felt like now this is AI which is coming close to replacing a senior resource or basically augmenting that senior resource to do 10 people's work. All the promise of AI. It felt like, okay, it's going to start happening now. And then suddenly, day before yesterday, Indian time morning, an announcement comes that US government has put an export control on Claude Fable, has shut down access to anyone outside of US, and inside of US any non US citizen to access this private AI model. So this sets up the context. Now, Jagatji, over to you. Can you just paint a picture of the export precedent for this? I mean, this was an absolute shock for me. So go ahead, sir.
So, this was not a shock to me, right?
Okay.
Because this is for centuries, not decades, centuries. It is a common what is that? The principle. The principle is might is right. The principle is Darwin's theory, survival of the fittest. The principle is big fish eats the small fish, right? So that's the centuries year old way of life. Then you look at US, now with this step which has come up, I call it, I go back to Wild West. How the
Okay.
Wild West was, right?
Okay.
So maybe technology has grown, but it's still the Wild West in terms of technology.
Okay.
Now, if you see 1960s, I mean, we
Okay.
got independence in 1947. If you see 60s, defense technology, there was export control for India. Then nuclear technology, there was a defense control, there was a export control. Uh, but in both cases, in defense technology, nuclear technology, we did it on our own. We did it on our own. It took time, right? Then supercomputers, there was a whole era of 20 years where we suffered. Now your chips, your semiconductors, even with this Iran war happening, the energy as a leverage, and then of course AI, and then quantum computing, and all of that will keep coming. So anything which is going to make any other country competitive, anybody who developed it will try to see that how this can be protected. Now there is also a political side to it, in my understanding, is that the current leadership in US, they requested Anthropic to give access for surveillance and military purpose to Pentagon, and Anthropic refused. And then there was a notification that no government will use this platform, and it got a there is a federal judge who stayed it, right, who put a stay on this. So it was considered to be a supply chain risk.
Hmm.
So now, because of that hold by the federal judge, maybe it is an attempt to harm Anthropic in a way, right? Because
Right.
then that's the way to get around. And also, to there's another angle of talent, right? So I think the pushback on immigration and H-1B and green card and all of that in this current regime, the talent is moving to India. Like all the GCCs are hiring people in India, including Anthropic also has a presence in India. So again, that angle that Indians are still getting work, but in India. So there are a lot of aspects to this, I think, other than the technology part of it and the security aspect. So I think this is a historical background and the precedent to what we are going through now.
So Jagatji, you mentioned that it's happened multiple times for any technology which would essentially, take humanity forward. Personally, what have you seen before we move forward?
No, so the thing is very simple. It's again a life. It's a philosophy of life that whenever you push somebody back to the wall, that is the time when the real resistance comes, and people react. So as I said, we were refused nuclear technology, but then we built our own, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to build. I mean, and we should not wait for these occasions. Why should we wait for such an occasion or such a situation that we start talking about building? And so we have to have that, and it doesn't cost too much, right? If I'm not wrong, you only told me that the investment in DeepSeek first version which came out was hardly $6 million,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So is it so why we can't do that in India? I
Yeah.
mean, some food startups get 10 million, 20 million fund,
Yeah.
right? But 6 million, I mean, even if it is $10 million to build, why we are not able to build,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So we'll come to that, Jagatji,
Yeah.
which is, a very interesting concept which
Hmm.
this sort of sets a precedent, which is the big picture essentially is, irrespective of specifically what's happening with Claude and Anthropic and the
Right.
US government, is AI becoming export controlled?
Yes, absolutely. Because see, it is like a competitive advantage, right?
Okay.
You yourself mentioned that a fresher can look like a 20 years experience, right? So it's a competitive advantage to anybody. And today, competitive advantage is what drives businesses, right?
Right.
So this is something which anyone who has developed as a country would try to protect, right? So companies like Anthropic, they are like global companies. They for them the whole world is a market. But uh, governments like the current one in US would see it from, because their goal is MAGA, make America great again,
Right.
right? For them, it is the US first. So they are saying that if so much of ease of business, ease of living, infrastructure, government, and the US as a country has given to these IT companies, and allowing them to bring talent under H1B and so much more, then why not have some kind of a control on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that they can benefit more than anybody else. So the government thinking of this current government is of that type, and they want to make sure that everything is America first. Right? So the same philosophy which is we are seeing there in various aspects of life and work in US is being extended to AI. So AI is also export controlled, just like nuclear technology was, and just like supercomputers was, and semiconductors. So it's the same extension of the same
Okay.
thought process.
So just for the audience to give a little bit perspective, already there's actually a cap for the number of chips from Nvidia which India can buy, if you didn't know. And yeah, I mean, Jagache, my question for you is this then: if it is AI is getting export controlled, my question is, globalization as we know it, I mean, don't you think that's coming to an end?
Yeah, it came to an end the moment President Trump took over the US government, second term, right? It got over. So he clearly said, I mean, I'm not going to fund United Nations, I'm not going to fund WTO, I'm not going to be part of it. Everything what US is doing is on its own, right? And what is like, there is a they are signatory to the World Trade Organization. Then what is 50% additional duty on India, right? I mean, where is globalization with that? And then various 12.5%, and then again keeps changing. So that is out. That is, and that is why if you see India has done something smart, I will really commend the government of India. The free trade agreements, bilateral free trade agreements, which have been
Mm-hmm.
signed with nine trade blocks by far, and more are under negotiation. That is something which is giving us a leverage. And in fact, let me share with you from an export market perspective. Everybody was saying, so 2 years back, our export was $824 billion. Last year it was like March 31st 2026, which we closed, was $860 billion. So it went
Right.
up, whereas
Right.
there was an additional duty, wars are going on, whatever. So we have been able to overcome that, and that partly free trade agreements are the reason. So we have to do more of that. But yeah, you are right. I mean, eh, more and more anything which will make any country competitive, I think, will face export control.
Wow. Okay. So then what kind of message would you give to developers, startups, enterprises which end up, say, using foreign models to build their AI engines, which everyone is
No,
investing in?
yeah. So no. So my thinking for years, decades has been, and I have always believed that the philosophy of spend, worry, and earn.
Okay.
Spend, worry, and earn. right? You invest, worry, and you earn. And this is exactly what is research and development. This is R&D is nothing but spend, worry, and earn. You spend, you worry, you earn. We don't spend. We don't spend as a nation on R&D. Check out the India's R&D spend vis-a-vis US, vis-a-vis Japan, vis-a-vis China, and you will understand, right? Whether it is government, multinational companies of India, Indian MNCs, or private or a small medium enterprise, even IT companies. I think IT companies are least spenders. I feel they are least spenders. They don't spend, right? They- So so until and unless you have that mindset, you only will ride on others. You can't build your own, right? So we have to have that mindset first, and we have to we have to build here. So and invest, primarily invest. And again, I mean, DeepSeek, $6 million. I mean, it's not a big deal. Look at the top 100 IT companies of India. Look at their sales. Look at their revenue. Look at the profit, quarterly profit. If
Yeah,
just
yeah.
one quarter profit, they plow back. I don't understand. I'm just still not. I have always said, I may look bad, but I will be honest. I've always said India is the laborer of the IT world. Right. So in my international trade business, small medium enterprises, they don't get into e-commerce. I consider e-commerce to be the higher value chain of IT. We are not into e-commerce, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So we miss that bus. So that's the higher value chain. But we are building e-commerce portals as a laborer for other countries,
yeah,
right? So until and unless we move the value chain to next level, and which will require investment, and it's not like a big deal. So there are examples like Zoho. So Zoho has spent on R&D, on product development, and look where it is today. It is giving competition to Salesforce, to Microsoft, to
Microsoft.
all the leaders of the world, and it is
Yeah,
doing well. But where are how many Zohos we have in India?
yeah,
So it's very important at this stage for Indian companies to Indian IT sector to invest, and of course government also has a role to play. Government is playing, and government also needs to give a push. My see, Nikhil, my philosophy, I'll tell you. Government came out with a law that any company with more than 1,000 crore turnover or so much of profit, I forgot what is the limit, but has to spend 2% of their profit on CSR, on corporate social responsibility. Otherwise, they will have to pay that tax. And everybody started doing CSR. Why can't we have a law of 2% for R&D?
absolutely. I
So
I think this is needed.
yes, so CSR is social part of a nation. But what about the technology part?
Development.
What about the future part? What about
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
part? So it is government has should consider,
yeah.
right? And government themselves also should then fall under it. Even 2% of our government's budget should also be, maybe even
On
more,
R&D.
should be on R&D. So
Absolutely.
it is a combination of all of this that has to be done, and at the same time, cost of, I mean, the ease of living and ease of doing business. So this also is something which I think government needs to take a role. Look at Bangalore. I mean, you want talent to go there with those roads, right? And the
Sir,
traffic.
so one of the reasons we have a studio, we have an office. I particularly choose to work from my home office because I can't travel in Bangalore roads. A
So so
8 kilometer journey takes 1 hour to 1.5 hour.
yeah, yeah. So my point is, Nikhil, when we say US is doing this, I mean, look at the ease of living there, look at the infrastructure, look at ease of doing business. So people are building there. We are building. Who is building? We Indians are building. Indians are building there. There are entrepreneurs who have created the funds, who have backed the entrepreneurship part of it, and we are only building. Why are we not building in India? So
No,
there is a
and
combination
it
of IT companies has to go up, and government also has to play its role. Government is playing its role well, but it needs to just look at some strategic aspects as well.
sir, and one more thing I wanted to add, right, which is the salaries also of some of the top talent in these AI labs. In India, I don't know, like what we have a mindset issue, we have an ego issue, or what. We'll never pay such salaries. It's so weird. It's so strange. It's not like the company is not making money. Like TCS made $6 billion in net profits last year. I mean, I don't know what is the sort of. I mean, I don't know. My question for you is this, right? Like, what is this mindset issue which we have?
It's the same, Nikhil. It's same R&D, same with salary. Spend, worry, and earn. Spend, worry, and earn. We don't spend on a salary also, so we lose the talent. People go abroad, US, Singapore, elsewhere. They get paid well. We don't have that psychology of spend, worry, and earn. If I am paying 10 crore rupees a month to somebody's salary, I will make sure that I get 100 crore output. No, but I am paying less. So where is the question of expecting more? Number one. Number two, that talent will leave. They will know today talent is very, it's like water, it finds its way. They will know
Right.
that this, I'm able to get for this talent here more. They will move, right? So it's same spend, worry, and earn psychology. I think to me, I mean, having observed US for so many years, and I feel the real success of US is this psychology of spend, worry, and earn. That is behind R&D. That's market research. That's the technology edge. That's where the whole mindset of how US works. We have to bring that to our country.
So we have some interesting comments. Dr. Gaurav Sharma says this government may fail India in AI. I mean, Jagatji, before you answer, Dr. Gaurav, I can tell you, private companies will successfully do it even before government has a role to play. I mean, Jagatji, your thoughts?
Yes, 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 absolutely. See, IT industry in India has grown with the private sector initiative. Of course, government has to create the ecosystem and support system,
Yeah,
but primarily it is the private sector which has to play the role, right? Like I mentioned, if you are saying $6 billion is the profit of TCS, then can you compare the salary of the people with the salary which Anthropic pays, right? So then it's a very clear, answer. So
right.
when talent today, सरस्वती को जब तक लक्ष्मी
Hmm.
रिस्पेक्ट नहीं करेगी तो सरस्वती तो चली जाएगी ना. हाँ, ये तो हमारे इन आवर 10,000 year old it is there in our scriptures. Lakshmi,
Right.
Saraswati, Durga, right? So
So, Anriban Das says, great to see you again. I think he must be your student, Jagatji.
yeah, yeah, he's from Bengal. And Bengal,
Okay.
I must talk about Bengal. I mean, Bengal is going to be a game changer. With the
Okay.
new government, let me tell you, Nikhil, I have predicted, I have publicly written that in next 1 year, Bengal will have the highest export growth of any state of India. And
Wow.
and mark in your calendar, 1 year from now, you ask me about it. Right? I
Okay.
mean, see, Nikhil, when India was Sone ki Chidiya, golden bird, 25% of world GDP was India. That time, 25% of Indian GDP was Bengal.
Wow.
And look where it is today. But it will come back. Sonar Bangla.
Great. So another LinkedIn user adds, ideally minimum 5% R&D is recommended. What do you think, Jagatji?
Yeah, certainly, certainly. Now, yes, now calculate 5% of India's GDP
Right.
and look at what actually we are spending, and you will
Right.
get your answer.
And look at, guys, I would also like to highlight one thing, that please look at private companies also. I personally have had an experience of working with IT service companies which are earning hundreds of crores of rupees with absolutely zero R&D budget. For an engineer to get a Claude Code subscription, he would have to go through 3 or 4 levels of approval process just for testing and R&D, just to understand how they've made it. I was shocked. I was like, what is this? Are you guys a tech company or what? So, Dr. Gaurav Sharma has a very interesting point. Let's go through it, sir. So, one of my relative, Ashish, who gave transformer model to the world, he was the main contributor when he was in Anthropic. World recognizes for his contribution, which made Anthropic what it is today. He visited India a few months back. He was never consulted by Indian government. Later, Galgotia kind of stuff happened. Question was raised in media about why people like Ashish, who gave fundamental milestones in AI, was not consulted because the style of working of government is way different. In what any thoughts, Jagatji, on this?
No, so yeah, he's right. And in fact, while you were speaking, I just did a quick AI search, and 5% of India's GDP would be like $207 billion,
Ah,
right? But
ah,
last year our spend was 0.6% of GDP,
my God.
right? So you see the gap, and of course, so the point is that in India, I think we are a democratic country, but I still feel that the access to leadership is weak. Access to leadership is weak. If this type of a talent which Dr. Gaurav is talking about, if we have not been able to understand, and at some level, because see, the decentralization has been done well by this government, right, in India, where you have Atal Innovation Labs all across the country, even at a district level, and so somewhere where that talent did not get identified and taken forward is a failure of our ecosystem, right? So we have to revisit that what are we doing wrong, right? And
Okay.
there's always a
Now,
school
Jagat,
of improvement everywhere.
right. So, Jagatji, I have an before we viewers, please do comment if you have any other questions or thoughts. While we do that, I have the next point I want to discuss with Jagatji, which was why India is hit harder. So, Jagatji, I'll just tell you, what context I have, and you tell me from an export perspective, what the lens. See, we are the second largest consumer of all these frontier models. For ChatGPT, for Anthropic, we're actually the second largest market. Okay. And to a point where, at least over the last year, 2 years, personally, I run a small business. Personally, I have moved so much of my workflows to AI models. However, not one single sort of national model I can use on a day to day basis. First. Second, a lot of our IT, and forget about IT for now, but a lot of these companies have GCCs here. Anthropic has a GCC here. How do you think this gets impacted now? Because, see, what I have seen, Jagatji, is we have clients in the US, we have clients in India. They demand that, hey, I want you to use the cutting edge model. I want you to use the cutting edge model and see how this problem can be tackled or solved. That awareness is there. But if we don't have access to it, I wonder what happens. So, what are your thoughts on this? Like, why I feel India is hit quite hard?
Yeah, so see, it is about competitiveness, right? So I always define competitiveness like efficiently create goods and services which meet global market demand, leading to rising living standard for everybody in the society, which is sustainable into the future. All four elements are an answer to what you are asking. It is all four are going to be impacted in India. So efficiently create goods and services. So we by with this ban, we will not be able to do it efficiently like US would be able to do, for example, right?
Correct.
So which meet global market demand. So you are saying that your US clients are asking you to work on it, but then if you are not able to do that, then you are losing your markets, correct? And then increasing living standard for everybody in the society. So these things are actually creating time for our people. If some work which I used to do in 6 hours, if now I am able to do in 10 minutes, it is giving me a lot of time for innovation, for creativity, for family life, for a lot of other things. So that's the life part of impact which comes there, and sustainable into the future. So a lot of product development and a lot of other things, like I'll relate it to my area of expertise, which is international business. So if you see what things like Fable can do is, it can do very very fast international market research, right?
Right.
And importer and distributor profiling, trade show preparation, export documentation support, AI powered sales agent, competitive intelligence. This is the most interesting thing. Again, as I said, it is all about competitiveness, all these, bans and all. And we, even before, we used to have like non trade barriers, right? Recently, uh, about 2 years back, Singapore put ban on two Indian masala brands,
Right.
but that's like a non-trade barrier, right? So competitive intelligence, then export pricing strategy, very interesting. If you see Fable, it is a very interesting, way to do that. Then you're analyzing a tender and the, RFP analysis, export opportunity scanner. So all of this now will take a little bit of a backseat. Earlier, to do all of that, it used to take like 15 days. Now you can do it in 10 minutes. So naturally, your growth is going to come faster. You are going to get more business, and you are going to hire more people as you grow in your company. So the entire cycle of competitiveness is going to be impacted, because somebody else will have that access and we will not have. And the irony is that many of this is built by Indians, right? Who I am very surprised how Anthropic is going to find out that which of their own employees are not US citizens.
No,
In
so they actually, sir, their CTO is an Indian.
Yeah, right. So he will not have access now as per the law, right? So that's very funny and very interesting how they are going to solve it. And they will need access to immigration data, that who is a American citizen, in order to decide that only they will have an access. And it is built by, I think, a lot of Indians who are Indian citizens out there, and even in India. So we are living in a very very interesting world.
So, so let's go to the next part. Uh, there was one. We have two more questions. Let's take them while we. Next segment is the last segment, Jagat. So we can take these questions now. Which is a user says R&D spend also reflects a number of patents being filed. India is lagging behind a number of patents being filed. Absolutely. I mean, no doubts, no questions about it. Anirban Das says we need greater AI awareness and literacy, especially about its economics benefits, practical uses. Government and CR-led initiatives can help while ensuring small businesses are included. Anirban sir, I agree with this. My point is, what if that AI tap is closed? Today, they've cut down access to their cutting edge model. Tomorrow, an argument can be made that existing models were cutting edge, which we do have access to. Day after, access to chips can be cut, which very nicely, I mean, leads me to my next sort of question: what being prepared looks like. So, Jagatji, I'll just tell you, right, roughly how the AI stack is, because I have spent a lot of time on this. And you can tell us from an export perspective the market lens, because that I don't have an understanding of. But the first part is the compute, which is, where Nvidia basically is, which is why it's become such a huge business, which is the GPUs, the chips, right? Which that compute India does not have. Okay. Next is models, a credible frontier model. The frontier model is something which is cutting edge. So USA has Anthropic's Claude, Fable, Mythos, ChatGPT 5.5. China has Kimi 2.7, DeepSeek, right? India, the Servam AI model is not even close to frontier. It's about 2-3 years back. Okay, that's the only model we have. That's the only one attempting. Data, Indian data, in my opinion, majorly is owned by US companies. including Jagatji, this will be, I mean, for a lot of folks out there, including our UPI data. The 80% market share is held by PhonePe and Google Pay. Both PhonePe is owned by Walmart, Google Pay is owned by Google, of course. 80% of the data, financial data is there. Gmail, Microsoft, all US companies. Okay. Talent, despite all being Indians, are employed in all American companies. And finally, diversification of applications. That is one area where I've seen in Bangalore a lot of investments happening in startups. I've seen a lot of other companies investing. But that's the last layer. Today, this is the scenario, Jagatji, which is across the AI stack. I mean, I don't know how we will be prepared if tomorrow US decides, नहीं मॉडल चैट जीपीटी भी क्यों देना है इनको, चिप्स भी क्यों देना है एनवीडिया के, डेटा तो वैसे भी हमारा ही है उड़ा दो. I mean, what happens? The AI story it's over after that for India.
No. So it's not just India, So if you take example of TikTok,
Right.
so TikTok, the government said we want to take over.
USA,
It's
yes.
just one moment. Just one moment.
Yeah. I think Jagatji's dog is bothering him. So meanwhile, audience, please let us know your thoughts and comments. We'll be happy to take them up.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Jagatji.
Yes. Yeah. So, so there is again, you see, this is what is going to happen, and it happened to TikTok. So now they are in negotiation. But yeah, same way, like if they decide that, okay, Google export control or Microsoft, like Visa card or MasterCard, and so that is something we will have to prepare for, and that will only come through internal government and private sector, so that public private partnership or has to take a higher role, and it will impact every aspect of life, not just this.
Yeah.
Right? So, and we proved, see, we have proved when pandemic came. I mean, multinationals used to take 10 years to make a vaccine, and we made a vaccine in a year. But look
Right.
at the government push which came. I still remember our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi visiting the factory regularly to see personally that how fast, what are the troubles, what are the infrastructure challenges you are facing, what is it that government can do to make it faster. And we made a good vaccine, right? It's not like any other vaccine, it was a good vaccine.
Yeah.
And Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, we gave to 100 countries for free. So there are areas, again, as I said, when your back is on the wall, I mean, you do your best, and vaccine time proved it. So we need that kind of I think we need an AI pandemic now. Right? We had a COVID pandemic and we proved it. We need an AI pandemic where we will, we will be in such a position that living itself is going to be difficult, which
Absolutely.
happened in COVID, and the best of the Indian talent and government, public-private partnership, everything will show its result. This is same thing
Absolutely.
happened with nuclear technology. We were deprived and we built on our own. Defense technology today, I mean, India used to always be a net importer. I mean, importer of defense technology. Last year, we did almost, if I'm not wrong, 40,000 crore of defense exports. I
Wow.
mean, by being second or third largest importer of defense, but we are also exporting now. And same thing we proved in IT as such, but in IT services, and in fact our services export is growing very well. The total export which I mentioned last year, I think our services export made us proud, and the government has a target of $2 trillion export by 2035, and I'm sure 50% of that will come from services. But
Right.
if we do our act right, I mean, we can exceed that. See, China, in my belief, will always be the factory of the world, but India can always be the office of the world,
Right.
right? So,
So
yeah.
Jagaji, I have one interesting question around this here. China's decision in early 2000s of not allowing Google, Microsoft, all these guys to come in and building out native tech. I mean, that must be looking today like a superb decision. What are your thoughts on that? Like India decided to allow everyone in early
Yeah, so
2000s.
it is, see what a country needs. See, if you see 1981s onwards, China allowed all American companies to come and manufacture in China. And everybody, Japanese, Taiwan, I mean, European Union, Europe, Canada, everybody, they said come and produce. So 10, 20 years they produced. Now, when we are talking of export control on Fable by US, what you are asking is actually import control.
Mm.
China did import control.
Yes.
They said we will not allow this to come
Yeah.
in terms of the tech. And the moment you have an import control, you will build by force. There is no choice. So this is a very interesting strategic thought process. So we're going 360-degree different. We are debating export control, which is going to harm us. They said we will have import control.
Yeah.
Look
Yeah.
how they built.
Yeah.
So we should have that type of a confidence. Not only in private sector is good. The government, I think, needs to think about this. See, India was importing 80% of its toys from China.
Right.
And government of India came out with a rule of BIS certification.
Yeah.
And today you will be surprised. The import of toys from China has gone down by 70%, and
Right.
export of toys from India has gone up by 80%.
Wow.
See, this is the power of state regulation. The talent is always there. The talent in India has always been there. We are a knowledge economy. When for 750 years, 500 to 1250 BC, we were called Sone ki Chidiya, golden bird, only because we were exporting. Even in those times, without any engine, machinery, electricity, we were exporting in a sailboat our muslin fabric, which would pass through a ring. Our spices, our herbs, we knew which herbs benefits what human body. It's a knowledge. That was a knowledge economy. Today we are back to knowledge economy. So some such initiative, some bold initiatives have to be taken. These are all risk-taking initiatives. See, at the end of the day, I feel that what you were saying, that IT companies in India don't spend, and I think it is directly connected to risk-taking ability. See, entrepreneurship is nothing but risk-taking ability.
Right.
So, as a nation, as a government, also will have to have the entrepreneurial mindset, right? It's okay. The best philosophy I like about US is it's okay to fail, but fail early and fail small. It's okay to fail, but failure is stigmatized in India. It's a bad thing, right? From childhood, we tell our children don't fail in class. Where is the question of innovation? I was just reading yesterday. In China now, from class 5, AI is a compulsory subject. I think it's an option in India in masters. I mean, look, see, we have to attack from the grassroots. We have to build an ecosystem from school level as a part of curriculum.
Right. We have
So,
some comments, Jagaji. I'd like to take them.
yeah,
So Parag Hedkar says China normally files 1.8 million patents every year. US around zero point 0.4. Bharat only zero point 0.1. Sad state of affairs.
yeah. You see, these are all reflective of the same thing I'm saying. What is a patent? Spend, worry, and on.
Correct.
What is a patent? Patent is
Yeah.
R&D. R&D is spend, worry, and on. Everything will boil down to that three common words: spend, worry, and on. We don't have that. The mindset in India, Nikhil, earn, spend, and worry.
No, sir, it's
This
only earn and worry. Spend hai nahi.
है स्पेंड भी है बट स्पेंड के बाद वरी वो सीक्वेंस बदलना है स्पेंड वरी है ना
So Satya Sayan, sorry, I'm unable to pronounce your name. Nakash
Sayantan Kash. He is
Sayantankash.
also from Bengal.
Wow. So, but when such measures are taken by US, will not beyond talent, the companies are going to lose India as one of the biggest AI consuming markets. I have a point here. I mean, Jagat sir, you please let me know your thoughts.
No, no,
But
you
Sayantankash,
go ahead. You go ahead. We have
see,
discussed it.
your argument holds true when you're thinking about a open globalized market. I mean, that fundamental thought process that you're living in a market where it's open, it's globalized and all, then what you're saying holds true. What if he just doesn't want your business and he wants to cripple you? US government will throw money to Anthropic and be like, boss, whatever gonna earn from there, I'm gonna give you. Go with as a subsidy, go. I mean, I don't know, Jagatji, your thoughts?
Yeah. So the thing is that value wise, if you see there is a difference. So if you see, just look at Amazon. Amazon, I think, crossed $700 billion sales last year. About almost 35%. No, I think 50% of the customers are from India. But 70% of the revenue is in US.
Exactly.
So the point is that uh, a market uh, vis-a-vis AI as a leverage, right? So and as an edge of competitiveness.
Exactly.
But on this question, I'll also tell you that today this is the scenario, but I'm very confident. See, uh, business and products, I mean, is like water. Okay, it's like river, or it always finds its way. It always finds its way. So something will come out of it. But as of today, we are discussing and debating this. As a market size, India is a $4.4 trillion economy. US is a $30 trillion economy.
Yeah.
So market for them, US, you can compare the two markets. I mean, I'm talking of the entire GDP size.
Yeah.
A very small percentage of that would be AI market,
Yeah.
right? So, but then you look at the US economy size, and large percentage of that economy size would be the American market. So governments think in these ways, and there is a macro aspect. But of course, uh, I think water will find its way.
Okay. Jagatji is quite positive. Let's see. I have a very pessimistic view today, but a LinkedIn user, sorry, we can't see your name. Government should have China-like policy where all major OS tools, social media should be made in India. At least government, semi-government, etc. should have this. Government supports telecom company losses. It should come out for India's AI startups which fail due to financial issues. What do you think of this, Jagatji?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have always said we should have a failure fund.
Right.
We should have a fund for failure.
The goal
We
is just to spend that money and see to make
Yes,
failed experiments.
yes. And then you see the talent of India. It won't move. Today there is fund for startups. But what is the success rate of startups?
Less than 10%.
That will be great if it is 10%, right? So already you are funding failure, no, in a way.
Yeah.
In a way, correct. So and startup ecosystem has really done well in India. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember 2014 when this government took over, hardly 400 startups were registered. Today, more than 200,000 startups are recognized startups. I am sure
Yes,
there are
yes,
1
yes.
million startups. There must be more than 1 million startups, but 200,000 are recognized. Look at 400 to 200,000. It's a success of India's government's startup philosophy. And in any case, we all know 90% fail. So, in a way, it's a fund for failure only. But we should
And
have perhaps a specific fund which can be given to those who already failed. We are right now giving to those who are starting a startup. But
yeah,
already those who have failed, we should fund them and see that if they can do something more. Because, something very interesting. One American only told me, I was doing this roadshow, Mentor on Road in US. driving all over 35 states. In Phoenix, one guy told me that I only invest in a failed company. So he's
Okay.
a big time investor, $800 million is invested. I asked why. He said a failed company founder knows what not to do.
Right.
He said a startup knows what to do.
Right.
A failed company founder knows what not to do. And he said his he has invested in 70 or 80 startups, and he said my success rate is 85%, which
Wow.
across US success rate is 10%. I think even less in startup ecosystem. Even US, it's world over. He said my success rate is 85% because I only invest in a company, in a founder who has failed once. What an amazing philosophy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Kaushik Kale says our IT is not good at creating products. Kaushik, this I completely agree. I only have respect for Zoho and Sridhar Bambu sir. But other than that, I don't know. Our IT folks are just sleeping, I feel. Kaushik Kale has another comment. Unless the government puts timelines for switching off all American apps and gets the apps done on war footing, that is what will help companies in development acceptance. What do you think, Jagatji? Very.
So we have to understand. We are not. We cannot live in isolation. We cannot
Okay.
live in isolation. It's no more a world of that type,
Okay.
right? So we have to be a global player. We have to work with other nations. And if you say that it should stop, then what if all the countries stop importing from India, right? So then it is not a one-way traffic; it's a two-way traffic, right? What if all the Middle East countries say we will stop giving you oil, right?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
we are living in a world of interdependencies. The whole world today is one village,
Right.
right? So we have to see, at the same time we have to start looking internal and build and have this. My philosophy has always been that this public private partnership is what will give us a success. Private sector in itself will not be able to do much. Government in itself also can't do. Both together, I'm sure, will be a success. But
Let's see.
this is, we are debating. Let's see what comes in action.
So, guys, we have just 8 more minutes. So, if any other questions, please ask them now. Jagatji, we have few more questions. I'll just quickly take them. Kaushik says again, state regulations are most important thing required at present. It is required for almost all industrial product and consumer product. I think he's referring to your toy analogy, Jagatji.
Yeah, true.
True.
Yeah, so it has done well for India. We can
Yeah.
have that kind of
Yeah.
approach.
Another LinkedIn user adds with online open source, large developer communities, freelancers, guidance from CEOs of Zoho Infosys, it can be achieved. Absolutely. I completely agree with this.
Correct.
Uh, uh, S- Sayantan Mukherjee, that was his name. Okay. Thank you for following and commenting, Sayantan. Kaushik says, do you think that these companies will shift their operations in India? They're already doing it, right? Anthropic set up a GCC in Bangalore the other day. Look, this they will want to move to India because they can't hire H1Bs there anymore. And look, at some point, you require a quantum of talent. It's not a question of geography anymore. Where do you have a quantity of talented folks available? Because building cutting edge technology like this requires incredible talent. I mean, Jagiji, your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely true. And in fact, I think this could perhaps be a reason why this export control has also happened, because the current government in US, they have put a tap on immigration, on H1B, on green card, on MAGA, Make America Great Again, America First. So a lot of companies like even Anthropic, they are hiring people in India. Now
Yeah.
this export control says that even in India, Anthropic staff itself cannot use.
Sir, in US also their own staff can't
Yeah,
use again.
yeah, but I'm saying from India. So
Yeah.
then how do you hire people? I mean, if this is a test case and they are trying to see that what comes out of it, it could happen to other companies, other products and services also, right? So this
Yeah.
is how I think President Trump operates. He will test something. If it works, he will run with it. If it doesn't work, he will back out. Right. So I don't know. I mean, they are already. You are right. I mean, GCCs are one of the highest employers today in India
Yeah,
in terms
they
of
hire more
number of
than IT
people.
service companies in India today.
Correct.
Yeah,
So that
yeah,
is already happening. But
yeah,
then it could also be one of the reasons why this export control has come, of the
yeah,
many other reasons.
yeah. So Sayan says again, vibe is thank you, Jagaji. You're very positive, Jagaji, is what he's saying. I mean, I think for someone like me is the first time I've seen something like this, which is why I'm so startled. As Jagaji said, he is like, "Ye kya hai? Roz ka hai?"
Yeah, 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 yeah. It is like that Iran war, no, no. So already
Yeah.
there is a 30 times the deal has been done.
Fa- Failure fund is a very good idea. US as well as China both are having that, which is responsible for growth in these countries. Absolutely. Somil Shah has a point. He says USA government will not sanction anything where they are making money. As Jagaji sir said, India market is too big for anyone to ignore. What do you think, Jagaji?
Yeah, so they have done it. I mean, they have already blocked it. So, because there is always a trade off between size of the market and sovereignty, the security aspect of it. And there are a lot of these things are not just in isolation. There is a political side to it, there is a social side to it. The political side is the Pentagon controversy, the social side is the employment creation within US. Then there is an economic side to it, that why should nations become competitive by riding on a tool which was invested by US, not as a government but any American company. So there's the economic side of it. So there are a lot of aspects to this. So let's see how it plays. To me, I am still confident that this is going to sort it out itself, and water will find its way, right?
Let's
So
see.
let's see where it goes, how it goes.
Okay. Just three more questions, Jagaji, then we will end for the day. Uh, So Kaushik says Tally is another good product. Kaushik, I'm sorry, I don't know about Jagaji's opinion, but I personally disagree. The moment a company crosses a certain number of employees, they move to SAP, which is again an imported software. Uh, Tally ends up being used primarily by SMBs. The moment a company crosses a certain threshold, they all move to SAP. So I don't know. I mean, Jagaji, your thoughts?
Yeah, no, but I mean, the SMEs market size in India is big, because you go to SAP, it's going to cost
No,
you
but
more.
why have they not been able to export Tally? Is my question then.
Yeah, yeah,
They've never exported Tally, but Zoho
yeah,
has, right? Zoho's actually bigger market is Australia, UK, US. So,
true. No,
uh,
they have found their market with the SMEs in India, so they are happy with it.
okay, okay. So Jagaji has a positive opinion. I don't, Jagaji. I don't know why. Personally, maybe I've never learned, not been able to figure out how to use Tally, so I don't like it. So, Jagatji, you must see most of the businessmen start business with a good idea and ethics, but as business grows, so many compliance come in. I feel that businessmen are not educated at school, college level about policies. So when they grow the biz, I
Yeah, that's
am
true.
not. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's true, because that's what I keep saying in my program: make knowledge the raw material of your business. See,
right,
every business has raw material. Okay, but is knowledge the raw material of your business? And today with the AI, it is on your phone. It is in your palm. It is in your palm. You don't have to reach somewhere. You are
right,
sitting in a car going to an office, and you have time. You gain knowledge on the phone, right?
right.
So so
Okay,
if you have not made knowledge as your raw material, it's not going to create competitiveness. So knowledge has to be constant. And very soon my thought process is that the graduation and this post graduation and degree and all is going to become redundant in India. It will be redundant. I think even today my assessment is that youngsters become graduate only for the purpose of getting married. The parents tell them डिग्री होगी तो अच्छी लड़की या लड़का मिलेगा. I don't see any value
right,
of what we are teaching. So even if you were in a college, you would not have learned this. I mean, even if it was so, our education system has to change with all these
right.
realities of today. and make knowledge the raw material. It is in your palm now. It's up to you. I always tell entrepreneurs, who taught you to buy things on Amazon? Nobody taught you, right? But everybody is buying.
Exactly.
So, who is going to teach you about knowledge? You have to do it yourself.
Absolutely.
And again, spend worry and none comes there.
Exactly.
You have to spend.
So
It's not just about money spending, it's also about time. So,
exactly.
the 10 to 12, now the habit in India, 10 to 12 in the night, scrolling Instagram,
Yeah.
change that to scrolling knowledge.
Absolutely.
The whole nation is scrolling Instagram.
So the last comment, it was pleasure listening to both of you, Parag from Nashik. So that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I just have one small thing I want to show everyone. If anyone is worried and they would like to have an offline AI model running on their laptop or on their phone, request you to go check out this website. For this is for the laptop. It's called Olama. From here, you can download some Chinese open source model and US open source model and run it offline on your laptop. It's not as smart as your best models, but it's about 80% as smart. Okay. And then the second thing on your phone, which I would this is one thing which I have immediately done because I don't know what happens. I don't know what happens, if we just lose access to everything. So on your phone, on both iPhone and Android, you can download this app from Google. It's called Google AI Edge Gallery. Automatically for your phone, it will allow you to download our AI model, which will run offline, Jagaji, no internet needed.
Interesting.
And
Interesting.
and it is as smart as ChatGPT 4.0. If you remember,
Yeah,
there was ChatGPT
correct.
4 a couple of years back. That
Correct.
was still pretty good.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So there you
Yeah,
have
good.
it, folks. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Do subscribe, follow, and see you all in our next video. Bye, Jagaji. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you, Nikhil. Wonderful. Enjoyed. All the best.
Okay, let's end the stream.